And major changes have taken place on the Korean Peninsula in the year of 2018 now, last year already. And a dialogue momentum settling in among the two Koreas and the U.S. And while the two Koreas have expanded their cooperation to a variety of fields, the hype for denuclearization talks between North Korea and the U.S. fizzled out in recent months.
That's right, it may have, but experts say 2019 will be another important year in which these countries will have to agree on the specifics of how to carry out the things they agreed on in 2018. Our Oh Jung-hee takes a look ahead.
2019 is a critical year of preparation for North Korea. That as the regime celebrates the 75th anniversary of the ruling Workers' Party's establishment in the year after, 2020, while wrapping up its 5-year economic development plan. But despite the regime's domestic efforts for economic growth, a set of strict sanctions by the UN and individual nations have hindered key industries in the regime. North Korea's GDP shrank 3.5% on year in 2017, according to South Korea's central bank. And pundits say the regime won't be able to avoid a minus growth next year as well.
North Korea's industrial production has been affected severely by sanctions on imports. Also, export-related industries like anthracite, iron ore, and fisheries may go through a recession. Meanwhile, foreign currency is being depleted in the regime, which will influence exchange rates and prices.
That's why sanctions relief is ever more crucial for Pyongyang. But that doesn't seem to be feasible, at least now, as nuclear negotiations between North Korea and the U.S. have been on a deadlock since the Singapore summit in June. In September, North Korea vowed to invite international experts over to witness the dismantlement of its Dongchangri missile engine test site and launch pad. The regime also said it can dismantle the Yongbyon nuclear test site, but demanded reciprocal measures from Washington. That's where negotiations stalled, as Washington was not willing to lift any sanctions unless the North took concrete steps towards its complete denuclearization.
North Korea and the U.S. both are willing to talk to each other, so I believe there will be meaningful results from their second summit next year. But their negotiations will gain speed once the U.S. is ready to offer something in return.
And South Korea's role as a mediator between the two carries on to the new year. Seoul is aiming at creating a virtuous cycle between North Korea-U.S. nuclear negotiations and inter-Korean cooperation. In 2018, the two Koreas kickstarted cooperation on a range of fields, from lowering military tension to economic and humanitarian issues. And experts say it's now time for Seoul to put more weight on denuclearization when communicating with the North. In regards to Kim Jong-un's visit to the South, experts say such event seems possible, reading from the letter Kim sent to President Moon Jae-in over the weekend. However,
I'm assuming that he will push forward with the cross-border visit after he meets with President Trump and some sanctions are lifted. Then, those will be able to lead agreements on inter-Korean economic projects as well.
2018 was a year of major political turnaround on the Korean Peninsula, with 3 inter-Korean summits and 1 Pyongyang-Washington summit. It's now time for the parties to meet and talk on the specifics regarding the fulfillment of North Korea's denuclearization and ensuring its security while setting peace and prosperity on the Korean Peninsula. Oh Jung-hee, Arirang News.